What if I told you that the biggest scam in history is not actually a shady Ponzi scheme or some Wall Street trader, but the actual monetary system that you and I rely on every single day? The dollars in your pocket, savings in your bank account, and even your retirement fund. They're all designed to slowly bleed you dry. Now, there is some things that you can do about it, but in order to do that, you have to understand how and why this works. Now, to understand how money in the monetary system steals from you, you have to go all the way back to the earliest 20th century, right? So before 1913, the US dollar was backed by gold. It basically meant that every dollar had real value tied to something tangible, i.e., gold. However, 1913 happened and something changed. What changed, right? The Federal Reserve was created. Now, the Federal Reserve was sold to the public as a way to, quote unquote, stabilize the economy. However, what it actually did was just give a handful of bankers, usually private bankers, power to control the entire US money supply, right? This was the biggest first step in separating you and your money from real actual value. Now, if you go to 1971, right, President Nixon took us off of the gold standard. So this was huge. All it meant was that the US, right, the US government, the world reserve currency, could just print money without any sort of restraint. And the problem is when you print more money without increasing the amount of goods, services in the economy, etc., inflation occurs. Okay? Now, inflation is the big thief. It's the stealer, right? It's often called the quote-unquote silent thief because it's not obvious. It's a little insidious. All right? Prices go up gradually, maybe 2 to 3% a year, so you don't really notice right away. However, if you think about it, if you save 10 grand in 1980, the same 10 grand today has only the purchasing power of 3K. So in essence, if you had 10K saved, you didn't touch it for 40 some odd years, today it would only be worth 3K. It's bizarre, right? Inflation erodes your wealth without you even realizing it, right? Inflation is not the only way that our entire monetary system steals from you, though. So what's the other one? Debt, right? Credit-based monetary system, debt-based monetary system, right? Credit cards, student loan, national debt counters. However, in our country, right, if you're in the US, we're just taught that debt is normal, right? Mortgages, if you got a student loan, car payments are huge, maybe credit card debt that you're paying 25% on interest. It's just a part of the game, you know? However, the system is actually designed to make you a lifelong debtor. Government and banks benefit from a debt-driven society because it keeps you working, paying interest, and dependent on that system. So you are making others rich while you are making yourself poor, or keeping yourself poor, let's say. Now, don't forget about government debt, right? Trillions of dollars borrowed every year. And who is responsible for paying that back? Us. If you're a taxpayer, you. You pay it through taxes and inflation. Now, even sneakier, the system actually manipulates you psychologically to accept this theft as normal, right? Economists say, a little inflation is good for the economy. Debt helps you build wealth, right? Other people's money, et cetera, right? Especially if you're in the real estate game, let's say. These are crafted narratives to keep you compliant and not questioning, right? We're bombarded with ads and messages to spend more, borrow more, save less, and invest less. Saving money is useless because inflation is eating away your purchasing power now more than ever, right? So now that you basically understand how that steals from you, essentially what you can do about it is this. Okay, you have to start investing in assets and not holding cash. Okay, cash is trash. Robert Kiyosaki calls, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he calls cash toilet paper, right? And he has a point there, right? If you invest in assets that grow in value over time, such as stocks, real estate, precious metals, Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million. It will only ever have 21 million. It's written in the code. So it is immune to deflation. Or inflation. It's actually deflationary by nature. Other than that, the more that you learn and understand about how money works, how debt-based systems work, and inflationary systems like ours work, the better equipped you will be to make these decisions. And the more bought in you'll be to throw more money into investments instead of holding on to a safe haven of cash, which you feel is safe, maybe, but really it's just eating away at your wealth and keeping and making you poorer over time. At the end of the day, this monetary system is not working for you. It's actually working against you. However, you do not have to fall victim to this. That's the best part. So if you understand how the game is actually played, you can take back control of your financial future. So if you did find this video helpful in any way, hit the like button, subscribe if you would. We're going to keep talking about, money, business, and just life overall. So again, like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.